everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's Kim. I'm going to be filling in today for Andy. He has a family issue that has popped up. Everybody's okay, but you guys got me today. So I hope that that's okay. We're going to go through all of the notes from, I believe it's day 13 of the Diddy trial, and Mia just went back to the stand. And we had cross examination. It was brutal at points. This is going to be, again, my blanket trigger warning to everyone, and also my message to the YouTube, censorship, algorithm, gods. We're going to do our best to censor as much of this language as possible to keep it appropriate for your community guidelines because we do care about this platform and we would like to stay on it. But we are going to have to use some trigger words up in here. I will say to everybody who is watching live, if you have any issues with audio or video that you're seeing with me, please reload your stream. It may be a YouTube issue and like an internet issue, and there's not a huge amount I can do about it. So if you're having that, just reload. And if you're on the podcast, hello. I hope that it is all right that it is just me today on this episode. We're going to have a good one. We're going to go through it all. And thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really do appreciate it. I believe we got rated by That Surprise Witness. So thank you so much to BJ. Again, incredible work today. Thank you for keeping me company as I made all of these notes. And we've got lots to go through, and we're just going to start. We're just going to go for it. I know because it's almost the weekend. It's almost the weekend. We're almost free, right? It is Friday, right? I haven't lost my mind. It is Friday. Thank you. It is the Friday, and I'm beginning to lose my mind. All right. So we are, let me make sure I've got this all aligned here properly, and we are good. Perfect. Okay. So Diddy trial day 13. We are now officially 3 weeks into the testimony. Or I guess, no. Yeah, 3 weeks into the testimony of the Sean Combs trial. And the judge is hoping to wrap up by July 4th. That was discussed before the jury came in today. But of course, Mark Agnifilo. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. Every time there is a break, Mark Agnifilo is raising a stink. And it's been like that now for days. And I'm sure there has been one or two, breaks where he has it. But I just feel like this is becoming a pattern, a constant pattern. As we affectionately call him here, Costco lawyer, because of his baby oil comment and Costco and everything else. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's just getting to the point. I'm sorry. Anyway, so Mark Agnifilo, Combs' lead counsel, indicated that the trial may be bumping up against the holiday, even if the prosecution is able to wrap up earlier than expected. So he's going, no, we need more time. We need more time. Annoyance. But Mia returned. Yesterday, Mia, who was an ex-personal assistant and employee at Combs Enterprises, she worked with Revolt, she was a personal assistant, day-to-day details for Diddy, and incredibly stressful work environment, horrible work hours, and she has made some pretty intense allegations against Mr. Combs. So it's been pretty bad. So as she came in, she walked in briskly to the courtroom, was the reporting, and avoided eye contact with Diddy. She took the stand, arranged her belongings, and cast her eyes downward. I was reading a lot of stuff that apparently she basically was like this for most of the time that she testified. They then started to go through the cross-examination again. Allegedly, Combs called his then assistant Mia incessantly when she accompanied Cassie on the film shoot in South Africa. Cassie had found out that Diddy was cheating on him, with Gina, and Cassie stopped answering her phone. Mia said she woke up to 48 missed calls because Diddy couldn't get a hold of Cassie. He started calling her. Despite the large time zone difference with Combs, so he's calling, they're sleeping, all that type of stuff, Mia testified that she was afraid to speak with her boss because in some of the messages he was threatening her job and threatening to end life. Great times. There were also texts between Mia and Christina Karam. We're going to hear a lot about Christina Karam today. I'm going to be using the initials KK to do that. KK told Mia that Diddy wanted to talk to her. Mia did not call back, but texted KK that she had been asleep. She told KK that she was having panic attacks, night terror. She was just really, really overwhelmed. It needed to stop. And KK also told Mia that Diddy didn't sound in his right mind. Now, then we saw some messages from Diddy. We saw these actual messages from him, the jury. The jury did, not I did, but the jury did. And they were shown to say, if you don't call me now, F it all. I'ma tell everything. And don't ever speak to me again. You have 2 minutes. F her. Call my house now or never speak to me again. F ABC and all the lawyers. Let's go to war. Combs wrote in the message. NBC also reported that the government showed that Diddy texted her, call me now, 7 consecutive times. Mia testified that Combs was threatening to tell Cassie about the essay, but with a different framing, as if it was her fault or that she had a part in it. And Mia said that ABC had recently purchased rights to a comedy that show that she had written. She said it was the most exciting thing that's ever happened in my life, and he was threatening to take it away. So that's the concept of what that text was, but clearly very angry, very scary, very disturbing. In the messages, Mia responded saying that Cassie was busy and asking Combs to give her more time. I'm begging you, she said in the messages. She just texted you. She says she needs time to change. Please just be nice on the phone, please, she wrote. Combs then sent a series of more than 10 messages telling her to call him before sending a message saying, in part, I have come to the conclusion that it is best that we no longer have any dealings. It's brutal. It's brutal. Patchy S just said he sounds worse than Kanye. I was kind of, I'm not gonna lie to you, I was feeling a bit of Kanye vibes when they were talking about this. I do hear you on that front. Mia then sent an email to Diddy, and she copied KK. She apologized, and she told him that she loved him. More placating. Mia said that in 2011, Combs reacted violently after he asked her to bring him some workout clothes, and the defendant allegedly lost it when he disliked all of the options that were presented to him. He was just screaming and cursing at me, and he wouldn't stop. And then something violent happened, Mia said, although she couldn't remember the exact details of this alleged act. Now, when James Cruz, a Bad Boy manager, emailed Mia that day asking who in the company was handling the Kids' Choice Awards ticket requests, she responded, I totally help, but he's currently firing me at the moment. Absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Mia was asked if she felt like she could leave her job. She responded, that wasn't a thought. I tried to run away before, and it didn't work. And again, want to bring this up when people are like, why didn't she just leave? These are the situations as to why. She recalled a trip to St. Bart's on New Year's Eve in 2010. She explained that she was staying on a chartered yacht with Diddy and other members of his staff. She described a moment where she was called into Diddy's room and told to count the money in the safe, something that was not her job. Despite counting the money, Mia said Combs became really angry because she was counting too slowly. He chased me out of the room, she said, telling the jury that she ran to the 3rd floor to hide. I just wanted to get away from him and leave the country. But she did feel that she had to go back because Diddy had her passport. So, yeah. Kim Porter, though, tried to console her during this incident. So we had a Kim Porter mention, for those of you guys keeping track of that. In the fall of 2016, Combs no longer wanted to be involved in Revolt Films and wanted to end it. Now, this was like a dream thing for Mia. We talked about this yesterday. She was so incredibly passionate about this, the television and everything else. She'd written this comedy show. She really, really wanted to make content. She wanted to be involved in this industry. So it absolutely would have been devastating. She said she felt betrayed, confused, and rejected by the decision. She continued to work on a documentary project until the spring of 2017. She testified that she was heartbroken by the decision to close Revolt Films, meaning she'd lose her position, and avoided calls from Combs and the staff. She eventually hired an employment attorney to work out severance, which hurt Combs. He felt like he had been backstabbed. After 9 months of back and forth, she ended up with a sum of $40,000 and took home $400,000, and took home $200,000 with attorneys taking the rest as compensation for bonuses owed, severance, and overtime, she said. She did contact Diddy again when Kim Porter and Andre Harrell passed away. She told him she loved him, as that's how she would speak to him. Mia said that she had spoken with Cassie since she filed her lawsuit. She also spoke with her a few days ago. She said not about the testimony, but just personal stuff and I love yous, which makes complete sense. She has called Cassie like her sister through this testimony, and Cassie just had a baby, so that makes sense to me. She said after Cassie filed her lawsuit, D-Rock reached out to her. The two talked about personal things and then the news of the lawsuit. D-Rock also said that Puff missed her, and D-Rock encouraged her to speak with Diddy. She pretended that she would, as she didn't want Diddy to call her, because she didn't want to, but then Diddy called her. When he called her, she got very triggered, and she threw the phone across the room. At that point as well, D-Rock reached out again and said that he wanted to send her a gift. She didn't want anything. The government then showed a February 7th, 2024 message. So this is before the raids, but after the lawsuit. From Combs to Mia, in which he used kind words asking for a phone call. He said, "You were my right hand for years, so I just need to speak to you to remember who was even around me, and it would be good to hear your voice," he wrote. "But if you don't want to, all good. Just let me know. Love." Because he changed his name to Brother Love, right? He signed off with emojis, a heart, and praying hands. But Mia said she didn't respond. "I was terrified," she said. "I know this was a front." When asked under direct examination if she works now, Mia said she has not been able to because she suffers from severe complex post-traumatic stress disorder following her employment with Combs. She explained that normal situations are overwhelming, and she feels triggered when someone even asks, "Where are you?" or if someone says her name across a room. She said the cause of her trauma is Diddy. And with that, the government wrapped up their examination. I feel like I didn't say that at the beginning. I apologize. But then we moved into cross-examination. Now, Mia's cross-examination was handled by Brian Steele. So when the lawyer is talking to her, that's who we're talking about. So I think I use Steele quite a bit through the notes just to keep you guys up to date on that front. I will say, if you are coming in, thank you so much for being here. Please make sure you've hit that like button. Please make sure you've subscribed. There's lots of ways that you can help out on this channel. You can send in super chats. You can support Andy while he's off. I also have links if the mods want to share that. If you want to follow me on my or subscribe to me on YouTube or follow me on Insta or whatever, send me a tip on PayPal, whatever you feel like. And thank you guys so much for being here. We really, really appreciate you. So the cross-examination began. Steele began by asking Mia whether she suffered a great deal because of Combs, and if she developed trauma. Yes, Mia responded to both questions. When asked whether Combs' conduct was the worst thing that had ever happened to her, Mia replied, yes. She also says that at times she wanted to end her life. The jury is shown a series of social media posts from Mia's personal account featuring Diddy. This was the theme of the cross-examination. Let's look at every single social media post we can of Mia's that mentioned Diddy. I'm not going to lie to you guys, it got very repetitive, but we're going to go through it. Steele asks Mia to confirm whether the pictures show the man who traumatized her life. Yes, she said. Mia posted a shout out to her mentor Diddy message to social media the same day she claims that Sean Combs essayed her. Steele showed similarly familiar fawning posts, and Mia made about her boss between 2009 to 2016. On the 5th anniversary of the initial essay, you're saying to Sean Combs on social media, "Thank you for being the good kind of crazy and continuing to inspire me every day," the lawyer said. Now, Mia responded, "I don't think people wrote bad stuff on Instagram those days." Now, apparently she was tense at this point. She then said the highs were high and the lows were low. defending her posts on Combs. I was posting the good part of my life, she says in response. And when she would promote, and when asked why she would promote the person she claimed stole her happiness, Mia said, sorry, I just lost my place. Sorry. Mia said, I had to support the things that Puff supported. This becomes a bit of a theme that it's like, if you work for Diddy, you post about Diddy, it seems. So this was a part of her job. Plain and simple. She also said Instagram was to show how great your life is, even if it wasn't true. I had Diddy's fans following me, and I didn't want my family and friends to know the misery that I was in. The defense tried to call out contradictions in Mia's testimony, where she said she was in constant fear of upsetting Combs, but would post about being his best friend. It's easy because the dynamic would shift. When things were good, I felt really safe. You almost forget about those things, she said, referring to the bad memories. She later said it was psychological. I felt responsible for helping him. I felt bad for him. I don't know how to describe it. There were clearly some good times during Mia's stint working for Combs, and his side, the defense really wanted the jurors to see it. The defense lawyers showed a video of Mia laughing in a comedy video with Rick Ross and images of her celebrating a birthday of Combs' son, Justin. In June of 2014, Mia reposted an Instagram post Diddy published about her on her birthday. He captioned a photo of the two of them saying, beside every great man is a great woman. P.S. Sorry I was acting crazy last night. She reposted it and captioned, nicest caption ever. Thanks, Puff. Love you. You've shown me the world, she said on the stand. He had threatened my life on the phone the night before, so I guess this was his apology. Mia said she had friends, but she wasn't allowed to see or speak to them. Sorry, just seeing here. Sorry, I thought I saw something in the corner of my eye. I apologize. I have to ignore the chat, guys. I'm sorry. I got 84K. It's bad. So she was not allowed to see or speak to her friends. I did not have an external sounding board, she said, adding, and I had to get permission to leave or do things. I had to beg to go to my grandma's funeral. Asked why she played down her treatment by Combs and the allegations made against him, Mia said that she was afraid to upset the mogul and that they were best friends. Now, the defense then asked, how are you best friends with a man who R'd you? And she responded, ask my therapist. Now, a reporter from The Independent wrote the following about Mia with her demeanor in the morning. We're going to go into the lunch break in just a sec. So this was just kind of what she seemed like. If I see details about what the jury's doing or like the temperament of the witnesses, I try to share that with you guys. We don't have cameras in there. We don't have anything like that. I'm personally not in the courtroom. So any of this stuff I think is really important. So a reporter from The Independent wrote that it's obvious Mia is uncomfortable, even being in the same courtroom as him. She has hands in her head, rarely picking it up even to look at prosecutors or defense attorneys. She answers questions extremely softly when they have to do with the A. She often stutters when talking about the essay. During her testimony this morning, the word of the day was terrified. She reiterated it over and over again whenever she was asked about her relationship with Diddy. So while the jury was out of the courtroom over the lunch break, Mark Agnifilo got back up and said that Mia's somber demeanor on the stand might be an act, and tried to enter into evidence a video that shows the witness dancing at a party. Now, the judge asked the defense why it did not follow proper procedure when entering the evidence, and the defense offered a range of reasons, including that they received the video recently from internet sleuths. Agnifilo said, according to Inner City Press, we think the witness's effect is false. I think someone has determined who she is and sent us the video. Shapiro then said, one of the other defense attorneys, some people on the internet think they figured out who Mia is. We've got this video from random people on the internet. We don't think this was ever posted on her social media. It was on some random website. So the judge decided the video was not coming in. No. This went on for a bit. It was ridiculous. But I think this is also important. Mia, we're trying to protect her identity. And I know some people think that they figured it out and they're saying stuff online, but we're not people who are doing that here. We're not here for it. Mia's identity should be protected. That is what the court has ruled. It's ridiculous. So after the break, Mia returned for further cross-examination. The defense continued to focus on her social media posts. Steele pointed to one post in particular in which Mia thanks Diddy for an incredible experience. Once again, she is asked whether this is the same Combs that altered her life for the worse forever. Yes, she replies. She's also asked about another post 6 years after Combs allegedly essayed her. How is that not a significant date in your life? Steele asks. It was Puff's birthday. I tried to protect that night and shut it down and not think about it again, she said. They then showed another post from Diddy's birthday celebration in late 2016. The caption Mia wrote, shown in court, included a praising F-bomb, saying, "You are the coolest alien rock star unicorn pizza slice, and we effing love you." I don't know what that means. What is a alien rock star unicorn pizza slice? And we love you, which, as she said, that's the way that she spoke to him. So, okay. Mia doubled down, saying that everyone who worked for Combs was expected to post. Which, I mean, I feel like that makes a lot of sense. She reiterated that back then people tended to only post about the high moments in their life and not the lows. Mia was then shown a scrapbook that she made for Diddy's 45th birthday. Now, she wrote in the scrapbook, "I've put together this scrapbook from 1991 to 1999, and I hope that will stir up some nostalgic feelings of when you started and how you felt what was a dream to you is now an everyday reality." The note says. Mia, reading the note aloud, continues, "I hope it reminds you of when this world made your eyes light up. Happy birthday. I love you forever." Asked what she meant by those words, Mia said, "At the time, I was reflecting on a conversation I had. CNN reported that Diddy told her, 'I used to look at the world the way that you did,' implying that there was nothing left because he had accomplished everything. And she said it's really difficult to get a birthday present for someone who has a lot of money." So she was clearly trying to do something kind for him and like she's talked about, they had this very strange dynamic where one minute, they were best friends, and the next minute it was just an absolutely traumatic, horrible experience. But she really wanted that good, you know? So Steele asked Mia how she could do this. And Mia responded, "It's called psychological A. There are textbooks out there. It's called an A relationship." Steele countered, "But you're not dating Mr. Combs." And Mia then said, "Well, those relationships aren't limited to that." She said, "I was young and manipulated and eager to survive." I'm unraveling a lot of this now in therapy. Nobody was there to say these things that were happening were wrong. There was nobody around us that ever even flinched at his behavior, Mia said. "I was always in trouble, and I was always just trying to find a way to not be in trouble." Mia told the jurors that she was afraid of Combs and that he might, end her, and says that making a scrapbook for him was a lot more complicated on all levels. Steele asked, "Why do you need someone else saying that it was wrong of Mr. Combs to make you feel like he would end your life?" Defense attorney asked her. And Mia responded that she has a logic brain and a trauma brain, and the trauma brain often wins. Now, I will say, just speaking from my own experience, and I can only speak for myself, she has disclosed that she has complex post-traumatic stress disorder. If you've been here for a while, you know that I know a few things about that. And what can happen is your prefrontal cortex, which is where you make your logical decisions, gets heavily affected and dysregulated, essentially. So basically, I think that's what she's trying to say. It does check out. It's not her just, spouting gobbledygook. She goes into survival mode. She goes into either fight flight, freeze, fawn, all of those trauma responses. And the goal is just to survive. That's all you think about at the time. She said eventually it becomes normalized, and you're just trying to get back to the good. You make excuses for people. I'm a people pleaser. I'm an empath. I'm a rule follower. Um, she testified, I wanted to do my best to make everybody happy all the time. So I tend to take a lot more than normal people. I don't know how to explain that. I don't know if I should apologize for that. I forgive people all the time for things, she said. Despite the intensity of his questions about her alleged essay, Brian Steele had been pretty accommodating during most of his cross-examination of Mia, apologizing if he cuts the witness off, making frequent small gestures of compassion. But at this point, he raised his voice. I don't know how the jury's going to feel about that. I don't think that was a good idea, but okay. After spending roughly 2 hours combing through Mia's affectionate messages to Sean Combs, Steele accused her of fabricating her account. Isn't it true that Mr. Combs never had unwanted, non-consensual, forcible contact with you? He asked. Although unforgivable for any person to put their hands on a woman, especially a man, isn't it true that it did not happen as many times as you just said to this jury? Prosecutors objected aggressively, and Mia responded with a steely demeanor. Everything I have said in this courtroom is true. Ask any A victim's advocate, and they could explain it to you much better than I could. He then brought up the scrapbook again, asking if she remembered making. He brought up the scrapbook again, asking how she made it. She said she reached out to the Bad Boy archives for articles and put it all together. I love Anne saying, are you sure you got the amount of times wrong? So he's saying he did do it one time for sure? Yeah, I kind of said that too. I was like, that's an interesting way to pose that question. My goodness. So the video did come up in conversation. They can't show the video, but they could talk about it. The one they fought about over the lunch break. Asked if she remembered making a birthday video for Diddy, Mia said that one year she compiled a video of shoutouts from many important people in his life, including herself. She said she probably told Combs that she loved him in the video, but doesn't remember. Mia testified she couldn't remember how many people participated. She reached out to a list of people Combs always wanted at his parties and family to ask if they wanted to send a shout out, and got many videos back. Steele suggested that Mia made the video in 2013, but she said she couldn't remember the year. Mia testified that she was devastated about being let go from her job on Combs' team. And according to a December 6th, 2016 text conversation between the witness and the Mogul's chief of staff, KK, she talked about wanting to end herself. She said, I'm so heartbroken, I can't breathe. Mia said that being in Combs' circle was all she had known, 24 hours a day for 8 years. In hindsight, fantastic. Like, she's free. But at the time, it was the worst thing ever. And with that, the jury wrapped. That was it for the day. They were released. Now, I'm going to double check here quickly because there were continuing arguments once the day was done. And I was hoping I'd be able to get a good, kind of overview of that for you guys. But I haven't quite seen it. So we're going to go right to Inner City Press. Are you serious? I'm getting something went wrong on Twitter. Stop. Stop now? Oh, come on. Give me 1 sec, everybody. We're going to double check here something quickly. Producer Sister. My sister is here. I know if any of you follow me on my channel, you know Producer Sister. Can you double check and see what's going on with X? If it's just me? Or if we have an issue? So frustrating. I'm going to pull up. Believe. Okay.
No, there's nothing showing
There's nothing showing. Okay, so X isn't working, so I apologize. I can't get that for you guys right now. But what I can tell you essentially happened was there was an argument regarding evidence coming in. There was a lot of back and forth. Mark Agnifilo again making a big deal of stuff. It was just absolutely ridiculous. So I'm feeling better because I am seeing that people are saying X is down. X is down. I can't fix it. I'm not in charge of X, unfortunately. So that was the day. I am going to, if you're watching live, stay exactly where you are. I'm just going to record a little outro for the podcast because we like to keep the podcast, pretty tight, and I hope that makes sense. But I can still spend a few more minutes with you guys and we can talk through everything. I want to go through the support that you've sent in. But I do want to say thank you to everybody who has watched this recap today. We're going to be back next week to continue looking over what's going on with this case. I'm going to keep on doing my notes so I can share them all with you, at the end of the day. So we'll be back Monday, to the best of my knowledge. Mia will be taking the stand again. Her cross examination is not finished. So heaven knows what they're going to ask her next. But that is the day. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please make sure you have liked. Please make sure you have subscribed. Please make sure if you're following us on the platforms, do all the stuff. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we will see you guys next week.